And time for homework 30. I hope you read the directions. It says for each situation, write one or more inequalities that will describe that situation, then graph those inequalities. So jump over to number 1. I'm assuming you've read it already, so if you haven't read it, do so right now. Okay, so when you're confronted with these, think to yourself, what is stopping her from buying a million lollipops or selling a million lollipops? Or same thing for the bouncy balls. What's stopping him from selling just like one bouncy ball and buying a million of them? Okay. This one has 2 constraints. So if you look at here, she needs to get the $50, and she gets that from selling the lollipops and selling the bouncy balls. Like here it says use X for lollipops. So here you got X for lollipops, Y for bouncy balls, and she needs to get up to $50. She needs at least $50, so she needs something greater than or equal to. Well, she sells each lollipop for $5, so you should have 5 in front of your X, and bouncy balls for 3, so you should have 3 with your Y. Because for each bouncy ball, you're going to times that amount by 5, and for each lollipop. For each bouncy ball, you take that amount and you times it by 3. And you take those amounts, you add them up, and that's going to give you your total sales, like how much she sold, and that's the money she's going to get. Well, there's another constraint. There's another number stopping her from buying, like getting a million lollipops and then trying to sell them all. And that's here. She only has $10 to invest. So she can't spend more than $10 to buy them in the first place. So she has to spend less than or equal to $10. Well, it's she's going to buy bouncy balls and lollipops. It's $1.5 for each lollipop. You have to add in the cost of the bouncy balls. That's 2 times Y. And here are your 2 inequalities. Now that you have them, you need to graph them. So get a coordinate plane. And before you start graphing, you probably want to solve both of these for Y. And we're going to do that on the next screen here. So here we've got our 2 inequalities on the next screen. You got to get your Y's by itself. So on this left one, you would subtract your 5x from both sides. And now you got 3y. Oh, why did I do 2? You got 3y on the left side. There's no x's. And on the right side, you got 50 minus 5x. Okay, now we got to divide everything by the 3. Divide everything by 3. You get y greater than or equal to 50 divided by 3. We're just going to leave it like that. 50 over 3. And 5 divided by 3, we're just going to leave it like that too. It's going to be 5/3 x. And on the right one, you got to subtract that 1.5x part on both sides, because you want to get y by itself. You'll get 2y less than or equal to 10 minus 1.5x. You got to divide by the 2, so divide everything by 2. You'll get y is less than or equal to 10 divided by 2 is 5. And 1.5 divided by 2 is 0.75x. Which, if you convert that to a fraction, is 3/4, by the way. So it's subtract 3/4 x. Okay, now these are ready to be graphed. You probably want to note that 50/3, or 50 divided by 3, is hold on one second. It's 16 2/3. So you might want to rewrite your 50/3 as 16 2/3. So now that we have our inequalities, we need to then graph them. And your graph needs to have it has to be large enough so you can do 16 2/3. So let's get a graph going. Okay, and now we got a coordinate plane, and I have changed the scale on it because I need to get up to 16 2/3. So you need to change the scale so you can get up to 16 rather than counting by 1s. I counted by 3s. So I'm going to graph my first inequality using red. and I need to go up to 16 2/3. That's a little bit above the 15 mark, but definitely less than 18. And so I got a point there. And I'm going to use my slope to get another point. That's a slope of -5/3. So go down 5, right 3. So if you go down 5, right 3, you get a point that's right there. We're going to have a solid line because that says greater than or equal to. So do a solid line, goes through those. Solid line. And it says y is greater than or equal to, so you're going to shade this direction. Okay. And now we're going to graph the other one. I'm going to do that one in blue. Okay. So this one's going to be in blue. It has a y-intercept of 5, which is just a little bit less than 6. And it has a slope of -3/4, so I'm going to go down 3 as I go right 4. So we go down 1, 2, 3, right 4. We get a point right there-ish. And it is a solid line. So we're going to draw it like that. And you keep going in both directions. It's solid because it's less than or equal to. And then you shade below. You shade down and left because it's less than. That's this business here. And you notice the solution space is over here, where they got shaded from both directions.